Okay, I will conduct this panel in Chinese, the mother tongue of the lessors. I think then it's good for the audience. You can get most out of it. 所以我会用那个中文来做。
So I'm going to use in Chinese to do this panel.
我是孙文来自 NorthCape。
My name is Xiwang. I'm coming from NorthCape. I'm quite happy that I'm going to do this morning, the Shanghai and your event to host the last panel, something about this the Chinese leasing company. So I would like to do this NorthCape first. I believe that everybody is heard about NorthCape. We are actually a financing consultant company we found in 2012, and we have arranged more than 20 billion US dollars financing, which is actually finished with all of you sitting here, and we actually with list of this Chinese financing in the past 10 years have a fast development. So for us, that actually has a good performances. We are quite busy, and firstly, it's because of the whole industry, and after COVID-19's recovery, and also the Chinese shipbuilding's rapid development, a lot of newly built projects was held in the Chinese shipyard. For this marine industry, we have a lot of opportunities, but we are also facing challenges in the beginning of this year. For Trump has get into the stage and have released a lot of the 301 USTR, and all of this is actually for the whole industry is going to have some conflict. So when we have this continued discussion, we're going to do the introduction about all the guests here. Today we are quite honored that we have invited the four experts from these companies. Firstly is Mr. Yang, and secondly is for Mr. Yan from the Gongyin Sally, and also have the cultural bank of the Leasing, and also the Chinese from the and Mr. Shi. And I would like to let everybody to do this self-introduction. Everyone, I'm coming from this SPDB bank financing. My name is Xiwang, and I'm quite happy that I could have discussing about all of these topics, and also quite appreciate Mr. Yang. And actually, in this the marine experience only 5 years, but he has given me a lot of support and help. So I would like to do the introduction. I can do the introduction about the SPD's bank financing. Okay, I would like to do the introduction. So our company was founded in 2012. In 2018, we officially get into this marine industry. In the past 7 years, we have collected in this industry the total investment is the 6.3 billion US dollar. And currently, we altogether is the financing vessel is 165 vessels, and also the customers is more than 30 customers. And we did an analysis, we did statistics, and to more than half of the customers after the cooperation, they would like to have the new financing with us. And in our customers, 95% of the customers, their vessels scale in the leasing parts is going to be furthermore expand. That is why we always think that we have a win-win relationship. So this is actually for the SPD's financing. We actually have this working together with our customers. So everyone, I'm coming from this ICBC Leasing for the marine parts, and actually we have set up that subsidiary company. This is actually for this European market, Yiye. And for this ICBC Leasing, you are actually quite familiar. It's founded in 2007. That is the first bank financing company, and as the beginning when we have set up the company, we put the marine and also financing as the core business. And at the end of 2025, we officially started the marine subsidiary company. We would like to have more professionally and more efficiency to serve for our global customers. And for ICBC leasing, we have the 3 front desk department, which is to cover the European, American market and Asian Pacific market and Chinese market. We hope that through this Korean subsidiaries set up, we could also better serve for the global companies, global customers. Thank you. Hello everyone, my name is Yiye, and same as the 3 companies for ours, we are actually quite a new player. Also, we are founded in 2010, but our scale of the team is quite small. So although our marine business started in 2010, but actually we also have the roughly 20 vessels, and it's the type of these vessels, and it's covered the domestic and abroad. We are quite new, and we doesn't have that much experience as the other companies, but this new company probably we're gonna have more open attitude and more higher expectation for the future development. Hello, my name is Eahan, and coming from the Bank of China financing leasing. So for us, we have actually the latest companies to set up. We found in 2020, as everybody knows that we have 3 years. We do the SPDB, this certification, and we also, since 2023, we started to get into this cross-border versus leasing business. I think compared with the other leasing companies, our shareholder is the Bank of China. Probably in the foreign exchange is quite professional in China. Currently, Bank of China in the 65 countries regions in the world have these different subsidiaries, and also based on our parent company's network and resources and great support in the past few years, we developed very quickly. And in this previous panel, our college coffee is also in this department. That is a basic introduction. In the past 20 years, at the end of 2023, we actually actively developed the vessels business, and we have less than 60 vessels. But in the future, we also would like to develop, especially for this business. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, everyone. And my first question, because currently it's the end of the year, we can think about the past 11 months of the total investment, what basically we are focusing on, and also different region, and whether we have some innovation structures trial and also different vessels trial. I'd like to answer for for SPDB Bank, the financial leasing in the marine industry, the total investment is quite stable, and we also would like to do this 60 experience and roughly 63, and because of environment, and also reach to the 6 billion RMB investment scale. And in this type of the vessels, we are basing on the commercial, and for this vessel, and also for this energy PCDC, and basically in this region area. And what's to say is that this year for the SPD's financing leasing is officially get into this marine industry. We have invested the first SPSO. So this is actually a milestone for us. And in the customer's side, our customers from the Chinese mainland and Singapore, and also the Europeans in Greece, Denmark, and Holland, and the different regions. This is actually this content. So as we previously has mentioned, for this ICBC's financial leasing since 2007, the marine is going to be support business for us. And this year, based on this subsidiary companies, and we're going to get into previously for this the ICBC's financing leasing, and from this internal discussion based on this region and also the customers region to have the setup is going to be more efficiently to have this comprehensive and also the financing service to serve for this marine companies. And so since this year, we continue to do this investment for this our department and for this commercial one, like the audio vessels and oil and gas vessels, etc. Different type of the vessels, we can have a good performances, and our new structure could help us to have a better communication with our customers. Like we could have a better service for the big comprehensive marine companies, not just like before we had different departments, different teams to match with the comprehensive marine companies. So we think that this year the marine business development is quite good, and we also hope that in 2026 and also in the future we could continue this rapid development. Okay. So for the ABC financial leasing since the last year, we can see that for this ABC's financial leasing, this is actually a solid company in domestic market. But actually, since last year, we started to have the international business. This year, we are also established the trend, and because of the challenges of the external environment, maybe initially we have planned, we have widely the other projects we cannot finalize it, but this year, and so we're gonna based on this Asian Pacific area in different regions. So we can see that we're going to have this far coverage, wider coverage with different vessels, and comparatively speaking, from the structure, from the financing, and also the really actually we also have this localized. So we can also see is that we have different news, and so from the ABC's financing certification is that for the cross-border RMB business, this is actually and we have some different countries. So from this part in the future, probably if you have the demand, you can also have business communications. So for this Bank of China, so we can see is that for this leasing, you can also know that when we do this business, and also finally we can have some promotion, is definitely going to have some lead time or the carried out period. So if it's gonna quick from 2 to 3 months until 1 year, so it really depends on the customer's demand. So the many businesses since last year or the end of the year before last year, some localized projects. So from the projects we did, the customers based on this European Union and also Asian Pacific area, and also the vessels for this commercial vessels, and also have some marine different vessels, some main commercial vessels. So this year, we also have mentioned that there's something about the cross-border RMB, and also the monitoring is mentioned for the direct leasing, and we have tried several points, and also based on currently this directions to do this many developments, and we also probably may know is that in some of the projects you may know we have get involved. So generally speaking, we would like that to have the diverse customers to structures to promote the future development. Okay, thank you. So what I heard is that so from this type of vessels, we have different trials, except for the search and commercial vessels. This year we also have the FPSO different vessels. From the structure, we have tried the actuals, the operations rental and RMB relevant financing. So this point you can remember. And my second question is direct with the trade war and STR. And because they have a lot of customers, they are European customers. Actually, for the tranche released the USTR, they have a little bit influenced for the vessel for the marine route and also selection of the vessel. We're going to have some certain affection. Like, for example, some of the customers, their trading is that they have to frequently go to US. Initially, they would like to vessels expansion, but because of this uncertainty, probably they have to step back to have some adjustments strategically. I also would like to ask that from this financial perspective, for the leasing company, for the USDR has been released. Although currently we have a short-term suspension, but once we release this USDR for the regions of the customers they locate, and also the selection of the customer and the selection of the vessels, whether they have some changing, or do they prefer to have something which is not confirmed by this USDS type of the vessels, whether you could make example to explain ours in details. We can start from Mr. Yan.
Actually, in our new business and our new project, we are impacted by USDR. From our company, we haven't changed our risk appetite. So we haven't made any change in the regions or the type of vessels we might work with. Actually, we think this is a passive choice. It depends on the financing demand and from our customers. As a financier, we want to fulfill our customers' need. We will not easily give up any client, any customer in any region and any vessel type. But of course, given the current market situation, we know the larger size container ship or the larger size tankers, they need to frequently do the port call in the United States. So their attraction to us becomes less and less. But of course, this kind of a project, we're seeing less and less in the Chinese market. Other types of business with less impact of USTR, they are seeking opportunities in the Chinese market. They're seeking the competitive pricing scheme in the Chinese market. That's a new trend we observed in this market. I think this is a very good question. We are in the shipping industry, whether we are financier or you are the carrier or you are the operator, USTR is a common concern of all of us. We really see the volatility in the market. So from our point of view, we think that we need to look at this USTR from a long-term perspective. Short-term, there will be some ups and downs in the market, but long-term, the shipping industry will continue to exist. It will be a perpetual connection for global trade. So shipping industry will be there, will always exist on this planet Earth, and will also make contributions to globalization. Maybe short-term, some clients, they will put on hold on their business transactions, or they will ask for early payback. We think we will seize the opportunity to enhance our engagement with our customers to find their true demands, their true needs. We will talk to our customers. We will always talk to them about their business models, and we will help them to adjust the shipping route to avoid the visit to the Chinese port. So we can also take some proactive measures. We will give some guidance to our customers. Maybe in the Chinese shipyards, they can place orders to certain type of vessels that is less susceptible to USTR. And we have one typical cases. We make proactive contact with our customers. We find a Chinese shipyard to help them to build a new ship, and we control our risk within our tolerable range. So this is such a case that we, as a financier, connecting the downstream and upstream, and make this case very successful. We always say that shipping is a long-term business. Every project, from initiation to conclusion, it will take at least 10 years. So ship financing, we need to look at the long-term development. We will not only focus on the short-term gains. We will not easily give up each segment of the market, each region, or each vessel type. As long as our customers need us, we will do our best to supply a solution. But technically, we may need to think how to avoid or mitigate the risk of USTR if there's a certain type of vessels that will catch the eyes of TSTR officers. We will try to avoid them, or we may take some flexible approach to circumvent the USTR. So this 1 year hold will be a good opportunity for us to observe and also to make some enhancement inside our company. I actually shared my project experience with you before. I always share your comments, share your concerns. I think that shipping is a long-term business. All these years, we've seen the volatilities in the market. We've seen a lot of geopolitical changes. And now the 301 investigation is only the latest hiccups. We've seen so much change in the geopolitical situation. We've seen the petroleum price has gone through so much volatilities. We've seen the Russia-Ukraine clash. We are also seeing other events happening in the world stage. They all have some short-term, mid-term impact on the shipping industry. For the 301 investigation, we're seeing this trend that both parties are holding on the investigation. So we need to take a long-term perspective on the shipping industry. We need to look at its future in 5 years, 10 years. We need to stand higher to look at the whole picture. 301 investigation is only the short term. As a financier, we are offering the financing solutions. We will closely follow the needs of our customers. If our customers think that USTR is his or her concern, of course we will cooperate. We will try to adapt our solutions to the needs of our customers. So I'd like to give a follow-up question, still related to USTR. We have a lot of customers keep asking about the USTR. The deal structure, transaction structure. Is there any innovative way to help us to circumvent USTR, to avoid USTR implications? We're still discussing a lot about this structure. We know now there's a 1-year hold on 301 investigation, but still this is a pending risk. So we need to understand from the long term whether there will be a physical structure to help us to avoid the USTR investigation forever. So they'd like to know your innovative solution.
其实 USTR 出来以后，我们普银其实率先在内部我们也去研究，包括一些外部律师，我们也在研究了一些新的结构，包括 Leasing, Lease Out。
Actually, we have been working closely with our customers to see what kind of impact the USTR have their own business. USTR has been holding on for 1 year because of the US government shutdown, and now not only the USTR will have some impact on the new project, but also on our existing project, it will have very large impact. We are studying this new structure. We are still waiting on the market trends. We're seeing the latest trends between the China-US government and the latest progress of USTR. We're also looking at what we can do to adjust the transaction structures to adapt to USTR. Also, in the process of negotiation, we also understand their concerns about these political uncertainties. We are also talking about the new channels, new business structures for them to mitigate the impact of USTR. If the customers need to pay the fines, these port fees, port expenses because of USTR, we will allow them to pay back the full maturity of the contract. Also, we will help them to avoid the uncertainties.
从我们的角度来讲呢，确实前一阵子呢，这个所谓的替代交易结构呢，在市场上也比较火，然后我们也是进行了一系列的研讨吧。
So we have to do a lot of discussions on USTR, the economic implications, legal implications, and so far our understanding of USTR, now it has been put on hold for 1 year. So we still have time to observe. We are still following the regular structure within the regulatory framework. Also, like Mr. Yan mentioned, we are also adding this contract term of USTR to our contract. We are trying to mitigate the USTR impact through the commercial way. and to reduce their concerns because of these uncertainties. We also hope that USTR, this concern would be put in the big picture of US government, Chinese government negotiation. So we need to look at the root cause of a 301 investigation. We cannot only focus on the symptoms just to make adjustment to the deal structure, transaction structure. We need to look at the root causes.
关于 USTR 这个可替代方案的问题，其实大家从4月份以来就是讨论时间非常长了。刚刚关律师也说了一下，就是关律师其实
for USTR,
也帮我们提供了
we
一套
have been had a long-term discussion since April. Mr. Guan, the lawyer, also have been sharing with us a lot of information, help us to do some solution design, solution framework. Actually, USTR can be very complicated in terms of legal complications. We have to negotiate with the customers. We have to talk about our tax partners, accounting partners, supervision. We don't. It will be a long timeline for USTR to be enforced. Also, our solutions, we are exploring all kinds of possibilities to avoid the impact of USTR. And if, as a business leader, we don't have a physical solution, this new entrant into this market, like us, we will follow the industry leaders to see what they will do to adapt to this new market trend. Actually, I think the previous speaker have mentioned all aspects of USTR and what we can do to mitigate the impact of USTR. Actually, our ship owners, shareholders, supervisors, we are all under the same umbrella. We are all being impacted by the USTR. So just to discuss on the level of a deal structure is not enough. I think that in China, our strategy to address USTR is we need to look at the resilience of financing solutions, financing product. Also, we need to let our customers to assure them the stability in the Chinese market.
好，谢谢各位。所以就是我听下来，就是长期的这样的这种替代的结构，其实目前还是在一个探讨当中。但是短期之内呢，租赁公司是愿意配合客户看一看是怎么样去降低这个 USTR 的这个风险。
Would like to work with our clients to see what we can do to reduce the impact of USTR. So my follow-up question is, how do you compete in this market with your solutions? And also in this market, have you felt the competition from other leasing companies? So this question in essence is about market competition. In this market, we're seeing the banks are becoming more and more active. Some financing companies from Japan becomes more and more active. I don't know if you feel the same. You have the same observation of the market. So I'd like to start from Mr. Shi. Actually, our take on this market observation, if we don't involve USTR, the market situation for now is including shipping market and financial market. Actually, the base rate of US dollars is at a high level. Now we're in this regular cycle, but its base rate is still very high. Even now we're in this cycle of a lower interest rate. Starting from 2020, we are seeing the market segments have been good development opportunities. Also,
And when we talk about the leasing, because for the USTR's issue, actually we're facing, especially for this like European, Japanese, and French, different type of this financing institutions. They are also because we think that this is have their assets and let's get back to this marine industry, as they get into this marine financing is going to give us some pressure. I think that from the leasing perspective, from this 2007 until right now, we can see that the whole process, the China's leasing is going to have some certain region to continue to provide a good service to this expert customers. That is why from the comprehensive competition and compared with the previous banks. So we have to say is that currently we are facing a lot of competitions, but we can also say is that this competition is coming from Chinese leasing get into this overseas market. We are always facing that situation. So all of these competitions is their competitors still exist. We are also and to have some competitions. So because of the USTS policy and probably the competitions always exist. So which is going to affect the competitiveness of the Chinese leasing companies. So I will not say is that it's going to completely change the influence of the Chinese leasing companies. So actually, I recognize for Mr. Shi and Mr. Xiang's agrees. I also think that for the Chinese leasing companies, because they exist, it doesn't definitely have this many. Currently, for the USTR and also the external elements, which is going to let us to review the leasing products feasibilities and also about advantages, and for the leasing companies' perspective, and also for the financing leasing products. And so compared with the traditional payments and based on customer special requirements, and also so we're going to set up different structure. So this is actually the competition advantages. So the competition always exists for this marine markets, always changes. Also the financial market also changes where and compared with the traditional region, categories of this region, and the different things that for the leasing companies, and based on like for example for this marine financing is always for the for solid business. We're gonna constantly to have to do this marine financing business. We also hope that through this, they provide our customers some certain confidence. They let them feel that we are the good performances in this industry. So I would like to share about the ideas we do. Actually, for this challenge is always exist, and for this leasing, the Chinese leasing time development is not that long. So currently, are facing the USTR's influence and also the external competition. But I believe that this is one of the challenges. But it's definitely not going to be the last challenge. We're going to face into a lot of different challenges for the Chinese leasing companies. So what we can facing is that we're going to using the self-development certainty to face into the uncertainty externally. So I think previously the experts has already mentioned that we have to find the leasing company. We can have a products development and also the differences with the banks to realize the differential competition. And we also need to share that in this competition environment. Actually, for the customers, they're going to have different selections, and also for the leasing companies, this is actually the external banks for this the leasing and also the competition. This is also going to lead us to think about ourselves to optimize our services to provide the better service and also the competition essentially. So from this perspective, this competition is good. We can also see that currently for the whole market is in a higher level. A lot of the newly ended competitors, they are just simply to reduce their profits to increase their financing percentage. So from our perspective, this is not just a post of risk to themselves, but also in the future it's going to bring to the whole market. That is why from this competition's perspective for these leasing companies in China, we need to have a suitable, like proper competition to increase everyone's service quality and also the efficiency, and with different proposals, not just like random competition. So this is my understanding for it. Okay, thank you. So because of the time limitation, let's get into the last question. So let's make it short. Let's have some forecast in the future for this marine industry based on this geopolitical and also the regulations have a big influence. So based on this current information, and based on the whole environment, we have definitely uncertainty. So for its futures, 12 months for this leasing companies, you think what we should do to guarantee that in this market we're going to have a continuous development? So let's get in start from Mr. Xiang. So let's start from the middle.
这么说吧，
So we can see is that for this Chinese leasing companies to get into this international Korean market, we can see is that this is actually the quite lower market. So for the Chinese leasing companies, this is based on this different projects and for customers to get it. So it's not just like that's all we can see is that the market will not gonna just disappear. That is why we think is that Chinese companies and of you also the same thing is that we have to keep our pattern. We have to be open and we have to have the confidence, and probably we need to work hard to find the customer, to find the projects. And I think for this Chinese leasing competition from the long-term perspective, we're not going to be reduced. Okay, Mr. Yang. I think in the next 1 year, for this the ICBC's financial leasing, we will definitely work into this whole global. There's 3 different regions for the European and American and Asian Pacific and China. All of this to provide the balance service, financing service, as Mr. Xiang has mentioned previously, and for this. So we're gonna have the deeper view how to get this existing demand, and also gonna have some long-term programs, and like for example, the customers have some small demand, and we cannot ignore it. Once you're going to develop it, they cannot think about it at the first time. So we think that you cultivate a good long-term customers relationship is actually for ours we have to pay attention to. And so from the long-term perspective for this and also the industries have a big potential, although this asset value is in the historically in a high level, and but I think that these marines exist, so that is the actually the logic. So we're gonna do the analysis about this. So to find these opportunities. Okay, so think of China financial leasing, Mr. Shi. I think that the first 2 of them, it has mentioned we have several points. The first is that facing to this the future and also the whole market, we are actually keeping the strategic way, not only for the leasing company but also for our customer. We also have to keep the cross-border way and to take a look about these opportunities in the market, and also for the development and also the scale of the trading, especially for the high levels development, and also for specifically for this project. I think that at least from the Bank of China's finance leasing, we have to get back to this like monitoring itself, because we have to pay attention to these kinds of things for the way and also value for the whole project. And also from the renter's perspective to increase our product, the professionally and also the comprehensive way to provide more flexible and comprehensive proposals. And last is that from this ourselves, because we are coming from the Bank of China, and to have this for this leasing business and also for some recent projects, we also have a lot of the things which we different than this domestic and abroad subsidiary banks to provide the comprehensive projects and services to our customers, and based on this different specialized to provide comprehensive competition with in this market. So SPD financial leasing, we have some certain developments, like for example, internal structure. And this year we also have get into this SPDB's campus approval, since next year we need to go through this external SPV to provide excellent ship owner to have more selections, because since 2018, 2019, SPD is actually the first one to get into the free trade zone SPV and also have a big scale service. And currently, because of the influence of the USDR, some of the ship owner probably in the SPV, and we're gonna provide some new ideas and also have some new demand. So from the structure for the SPD's financial leasing, next year we're gonna have this like international SPVs, and including this the US financing to provide our ship owner more selections to increase our services. And secondly is that previously we have mentioned that mostly we have to pay attention to the asset itself. In the future, we will, when we have the better understanding for this industry and also the customers' asset collection in the future, we probably is gonna pay more attention to for this operation financing, because financing itself is gonna be the negative. We need to have some asset management from this operations leasing to get into this market. And secondly is that we're gonna strengthen the our customers' strategy and also product strategy. And currently, we can pay attention, including this Asian Pacific and Middle East, a lot of newly companies. And currently, the Middle East is gonna step by step to become the center of this marine. A lot of international ship owners is gonna join a lot of Middle East conference and events. We pay attention to some market demand, including this European ship owner. Like for example, the customers from Greece, our SPD's financial leasing, we only cooperate two, but actually they cooperate with the Chinese, the Greece ship owners friends there quite a lot. But I think is that for this whole companies, the market is quite big, and we also have to increase and also increase the functionality to have this differential competition. Okay, thank you for all your sharing. So this is actually the last section. If next year will still exist, we hope that USDR's question could be solved. Thank you.